Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. Feeling disgusting, happy, and conflicted. Rant feeling disgusting, happy, and conflicted. As the post says, this is how I feel. The reason why may be a little different than the normal post, but I started my journey in this sub almost 2 years ago and I'm going to continue it here. So here we go. Quick background, GF cheated on me in June of 2020, I went into a crazy depressive state, tried to get her back and only got played again. Congrats, I played myself, thanks DJ Khaled. She monkey branched for a while, months really, chose him after I did the pick me dance, and got pregnant. I started dating someone else a few months later and they had the baby in August of 2021. All up to speed? Cool. The reason I'm here today is a little different. I was with one of my friends a couple days ago. We were hanging out and talking, out of nowhere he said, "Hey, did you know your ex's baby is in the hospital?" I ask why, he shows me a Facebook post about the baby having something wrong with its head, random swelling and the sort. Baby has been in the hospital for a week or so and has had multiple tests done. I stop, because I feel a mixture of emotions and that's why I'm here. I'm disgusted with myself because a major part of me was thinking good, that's what they deserve, but I know deep down that is so wrong of me. That child, even though it is a product of infidelity, didn't choose to be part of that and has done nothing to me. Not a damn thing. It didn't choose to be born by them. That baby didn't do me any harm, so I shouldn't be cold like that. But the other part of me wants my ex to suffer and I didn't really feel any sort of sympathy for them. If she hadn't done what she did, the baby wouldn't even exist. I'm disgusted and sickened with myself over this internal conflict. Just needed to get that off my chest. I'm talking to my therapist about this later today, but I just had to get it out somewhere. If this makes me a piece of trash, I understand that. I'm trying to let go of this negativity and every time I feel like I'm close, it pops back up. If you read this, I appreciate it. I want the child to be okay, they don't deserve to be going through this. But I'm happy my ex is suffering. Edit, thank you to everyone who has responded to this. Sometimes emotions don't really make sense, and even though I'm in a much better place than D-Day almost 2 years ago, crazy to even realize how long it's been, I'm so lucky to be able to come here and talk about what's going on. You all are amazing humans, thank you for the support. I hope all of you have an amazing week, month, year, and life. The pain never fully goes away, but it does get better. Way better. When you are at your therapist, ask them what they think about you extending your car's warranty. We have been reaching out to you and think it's a great idea. There is nothing wrong with your feelings, just shows you are hurting still, but at the same time you feel empathy for people and aren't a shitty person. Think my therapist will give me a good deal on the warranty? Thanks for understanding. I try not to be a shitty person. Well, if you would stop ignoring so many calls, we can get you the best deal of the year. Sometimes it can be hard to not be a shitty person. You will one day forget her like a fart into the wind. My therapist said they could offer the extended warranty, but I'd be locked in for 5 years. Is that a good deal? Ask for the Rogers rate. Sigh. What is the Rogers rate? Discount double check. Lol, I hate those calls. They started calling when the car was about to hit that 3-year warranty period and continues even now 2 years later. Much_editor 7898, I have been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. I was engaged and he dumped me for a married woman. Not long after they got married, my brother's best friend slept with her. Now this guy did not know anything about me dating him. She was a lifeguard at a local pool and he wasn't the first nor the last. My friend said he is as happy as he deserves to be. So use that thought, you are not a bad person, just a human with a broken heart. You're fine. totally understandable. You recognize that those feelings are incongruent with your true nature. Don't dwell on it. Gonna have some lunch and just try to move on from this. Thank you. Never-ending saga continues. Time for revenge? Advice. Attached the link to my prior post. You can dig through my account though if you want the full detailed experience. But TL Drive, my now ex cheated on me back during the start of the pandemic. I was dumb and let her monkey branch, didn't take accountability for my own enabling of the terrible situation. She got pregnant by him, finally moved on and started dating someone else. Ex tried to hoover me back into her, now we're here. Got it? Cool, let's move on. So, my new relationship failed, nothing wrong or bad happened, just wasn't the ideal situation for either of us. We're still friends, it just wasn't working. My cheating ex contacted me a few months ago, she wanted to talk and I was feeling nice so I listened. She went on to complain about her relationship, her family, her boyfriend, the one she cheated on me with, and just about every facet of her life. I listened because honestly, loved hearing about how much she hated the situation she put herself in, felt good to know that her plan for happiness absolutely failed and she hates everything. That's when I had a great idea. Let me build a relationship with her and make her think she can trust me. Let her vent to me about all her problems, grow this into something her BF wouldn't approve of, and when the moment is right, drop the bomb on him. Send him every screenshot I could, expose her to him for what she is. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to do this guy a favor. I hate him just as much if not more because of all the trash talking he did. It seems that time has come. She has sent me illicit photos of her, sent me screenshots of their conversations when they're fighting. I have fully executed my plan and everything seems ready to go. But now, I'm not sure I want to follow through on it. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be petty and a homewrecker. She told me she's pregnant again and already has a 10-month-old baby. She wouldn't have a support system as her and her family haven't seen eye to eye since the baby came. In theory and in my head, it's perfect. Repay the pain. Destroy everything she left me for, essentially destroy her life. He would definitely leave her, she wouldn't have the support of his family or her family, she would be alone. Send screenshots to everyone involved. But, then I would be bringing the past back, stepping back into everything I worked to get away from, being the thing I promised I wouldn't. My question, what would you do if this was you? Would you burn it all down if you had the chance? If your only answer is to comment on how deplorable of a human I am, trust me, this hasn't been the easiest process for me. Edit, didn't expect this to gain traction so quickly. Thank you to everyone for their insight and comments. I've decided to not go through with it. Not sure how I will exactly proceed, but it's going to be either full North Carolina or just sitting around, gaining more information from her. Either way, I'm going to watch this burn from the sidelines. Not going to play any part in it. You keeping her around, in your head or otherwise, is the prison cell of your own making. Do you want to improve your life? Drop her, go full North Carolina and tell her if she balks against it, those messages are being forwarded. You got the silver bullet, you can instill the fear into the ex, all the while not being brought down to her level. Think about it. You do this, who is she going to badmouth you to? You tell her if any friends, family, etc. contact you from here on calling you names and such, that the info will be sent. It's blackmail, but, hopefully, more a defensive tactic than anything. You got your golden shower of power from her venting and attempted wooing of you. So now show her that her tactics not only don't work, but basically backfired on her. And that she is absolutely alone now, well, besides that blessed man who she cheated on you with which she keeps making such lovely choices. You're already second-guessing it all, so chalk it up to I could have done it, but I'm not. And I'm not doing it, for me. Or do it. Blow it up, and hope you have the mental/emotional carapace of a scarab beetle, because the backlash and griminess of it all takes its toll too. What's the saying? On the trail of revenge, one must dig 2 graves, or whatever the real saying is. Sometimes it's better to just let it go, protect yourself, and watch from a distance as the building collapses in on itself, especially knowing you had no actual hand in the downfall. Yeah, you're right. I do have all the pieces if the time comes and they seem necessary. But I'd rather watch from a distance. Keep my conscience clean. She's already doing such a bang-up job to herself. At what point is it considered just unnecessary and gratuitous? Short-term loss. Long-term net gain. Story 2. AITA for telling my wife to shut up. Not the a-hole. Last night my wife and I went to go see the Bob's Burgers movie she has been wanting to see, but when we got home it was rather late. Around 11 o'clock. I usually go to bed around 9:30 or 10 o'clock because I wake up for work at 5:30 a.m. I was pretty tired and told my wife I was going to go to sleep. She said okay and put our daughter to sleep. I'm not sure how much later, she comes into our bedroom singing the Friends theme song. She's a fan of the show and was watching it on her phone. She wakes me up and notices and apologizes. I fell back to sleep and was awoken again by her singing. I roll over and eventually fall back asleep. I don't know why, but she kept singing out loud. Not super loud but loud enough to wake me up. I look at the clock and it's almost 1 a.m. I tell her, babe, do you mind keeping it down? She apologizes and keeps humming. I can sleep with the sound of the show, but her singing kept waking me up. Once again she woke me up at 2 a.m. with her singing, so I turned over and told, will you shut up, I have to be at work in a few hours. She gave me a death stare and got up and went to sleep in our guest bedroom. In the morning, she made me my lunch, and when I went to leave, she called me a jerk for talking to her that way. I asked her nicely to quiet down and asked her who sings while someone is sleeping. It's just inconsiderate. She has been giving me the cold shoulder, but I think I was justified. AITA? My wife sent a picture of herself to a random number. My wife 29F and I 27M were invited to a wedding that's next month. I bought what I plan on wearing and she just found a dress that she likes. It's a jade green dress. It's a nice dress and asked if I could see her in it, and she said maybe another day. I said fine and left it how it is. Later that day, my friend who's also going to the wedding asked me if I could show her husband how to tie a bow tie. I said sure, and she also commented that my wife looks super good in her dress. I agreed but was hurt a bit that she showed her friend but not me. She's also friends with my wife. I let it go as girls show their outfits off to their girlfriends all the time. I wanted to see how she looked, so I went through her phone when she was showering and saw she sent it to her sisters, mom, a few friends and a blank number. I thought it was peculiar she sent it to one blank number. I took the number down. I searched her phone log and she receives short phone calls from this number a lot and also receives text messages. There's a phone app that if you pay a certain amount, you can find a bit of information on a certain number. Turns out it's a guy who lives in the area. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I'm about to jump to conclusions because not only has she been acting weird with me, she's been talking and messaging a guy. Not only messaging but sending him pictures that I, her husband, haven't seen. It may be a close friend or something innocent. I want to confront her about it, but I don't know how to. Any advice? Okay, so my wife is seeing another man. So that's that. On Saturday I posted about my wife sending a picture to an unlabeled number. A phone app says it was a guy. I stayed quiet to gather evidence. I went through her phone and found nothing. Nothing on her Snapchat or FB Messenger. Yesterday she worked, so she went through regular daily stuff. Today she had a day off, so I asked a buddy of mine if I could borrow their van. I put on a face mask and parked nearby. She got up relatively early. Earlier than what she says. She went in the direction of her parents who were watching our daughter. I'm pretty sure she dropped her off. I parked near our house and she didn't go home but instead drove 5 minutes away and stopped at a random house. A guy came out that I know all too well. He used to be my friend until she told me to cut him off. They went inside and my suspicions were confirmed. I went home to gather myself. Went to pick up my car and waited for her. She eventually came back a little bit before I usually arrived. Thankfully without our daughter. She just acted normal and asked why I was home so early. I said, Maria, I want you to be honest with me, no yelling, no lies, no nothing. How long have you been seeing him? Her eyes widened while I was trying not to cry. I know she was struggling to speak because she was stuttering and said only a few months. I tried to keep my cool and told her to get her stuff and she'll be hearing from a lawyer soon. I spoke to one. The house was my parents' but was gifted to me. She failed to come with me to put it under her name as well. She called me crazy and we bickered back and forth and typing every single word we said to each other would be too much. To make a long story short, she was trying to blame me for the whole cheating, saying I wasn't treating her like a real woman but the bum she was with was. I've known that guy forever and know he's a toxic boss. I guess my next step is to confirm all this with my lawyer tomorrow to start the process. While I do appreciate everyone's advice and harsh words, it is what it is and that's that. A few days ago, I found out my wife is cheating on me but I'm happy. On Tuesday I found out my wife, who I've been with since our college days, is cheating on me with an ex-friend of mine. He used to take advantage of me and she herself told me to cut him out of my life. These last 2 days were rough. Blaming myself for feeling like a failure of a man who couldn't satisfy him woman in and out of the bedroom. Apparently he could even though he's a toxic pos who ruined the way I socialize. That's when I started thinking of how happy and peaceful I was with her out of the house. She made me feel like a failure. Every time I tried something new or something good happened to me, she would break me down and make it seem like something not important. I love that I don't have to tiptoe around her or watch how I express my feelings now. I remember once, I expressed how mentally fried I felt after work. She said, oh well man up, these bills aren't going to pay themselves. She left me for a guy that used to ask me for money all the time and still doesn't have a car or his own home. She went with that. I used to pay all her bills and have a home. I don't get it, I love her so much and should have realized this before. My message to everyone is be careful who you marry. Things and people change. I'll miss her but I have to move on. I feel my mental health declining with her. I still have my moments of weakness and do plan on starting therapy for the sake of my daughter. I know the sun will shine on me again one day. My soon-to-be ex-wife came to the house today and asked if we can give it another try. About a month ago, I found out my wife cheated on me with a former friend. We have a daughter together and she stays with her on weekdays and spends the weekends with me. She hasn't given any signs she wants to reconcile our relationship. Today out of the blue, she came to my house and asked if we could talk. She was pretty straightforward and told me that she wanted to give it another try. I was surprised because like I said she hasn't said anything to me or her sister who I've been in contact with a lot. She just said she was blinded and that she misses me and that she's so stupid for cheating on me. That nobody could replace me. All this while crying. I told her in a low voice that what she did was unforgivable. I admitted to her that I missed her but I just can't trust her anymore. She just shook her head and tried to hug me but I asked her not to. She left but I started dwelling on the fact that I still do love and do miss her. I miss the early relationship with Maria. She was so funny and charismatic. She was and still is beautiful. I'm just lost right now. Anyone else go through this? Update post about my wife cheating on me. I greatly appreciate everyone's advice and support. I'm sorry for not responding to any comments. This subcuts has a comment cutoff limit so I try not to comment to save comments. It's been incredibly hard to deal with this. Sometimes I wish it wasn't the truth and I could wake up and my wife would be by my side, but that's just the way life is. I haven't spoken to her since she last visited me, but I'm glad to know her family is on my side, even her mom who hates me. Her sister has been a huge help as she constantly gives me encouragement and brings me and my daughter food when my daughter is with me. Some people seem genuinely interested, so I'll try and keep everyone updated. Thank you for the kind and harsh words. We hope that by sharing these stories with interested folks like you, we can help people recognize the signs of a relationship in trouble, and avoid so many of these heartbreaking situations yourselves. Have a good day or night, wherever you are.